Have you checked if the levee is dry for the potential winner to receive their Chevy?
The boys are back. The boys are back in town. We have a great entourage today, a small entourage, our smallest group yet. But I'm your host, Ike, along with Jared, Sowie, and then Eric Porter here. We have the 250-point Serbia Open, and the boys will be betting on the championship match, which is tomorrow at 7 a.m. Novak Djokovic, the second best player ever behind Rafa Nadal, and he is playing Andrey Rublev, who is currently the 8th ranked player in the world. Let's quickly run through our betting through week 7. So a couple numbers that stand out to me. One, myself, because it is myself. I'm absolutely just getting destroyed this year. Matt's killing it right now. He's leading in total earnings. And then Carter has the best record. And both Eric and Jared are both in the call today. So we'll go over their records. Both of them are 3 and 4.
Before we get into the episode, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor for today's video, Lake Minot. Are you bogged down at work? Are you in need of a vacation? If you are, Lake Minot is the place for you. Visit Lake Minot, which is right off Highway 83 on the south side of Minot, to get the dream vacation you're looking for. Let's get back to the video.
Yep. So first, I want to start out by talking about current events in the tennis world. So Wimbledon announced that they will not be allowing Russian players to play in the tournament this year. And then also tennis news, Genie Bouchard was a guest on Part of My Take, the top Barstool podcast. So we want to touch on that as well. But first, just want to see what you guys are thinking about Russians not being allowed to play at Wimbledon this year. What do you guys think about that?
I'm not sure if I support banning Russian and Belarusian athletes altogether. I don't personally see a problem with them competing under a neutral flag or zero flag at all. I understand, obviously, why we don't want to promote Russia at a time like this, but I'm not sure that banning individual players is the method to go about it.
Especially when we've seen, things in the Olympics, like, Russians have competed under like a Russian Olympic Committee. You could do something similar to that, I think, and allow these athletes to compete because as unfortunate as the whole situation is, I don't feel like there is too much justification for individuals, like you were saying, Eric, to take that away from individuals. You should get guys like Andrey Rublev. He's one of the brightest young stars in the game. Through no fault of his own, now he's unable to compete on the world's biggest tennis stage. So definitely a tough situation, but I definitely agree there that I don't know if this is the right move to be making.
Andrey Rublev and a lot of the Russian players actually met with the Wimbledon, tennis director and stuff like that, just talking over like their side of things. And I think Rublev specifically said, like, if it's like, I don't care, like, I'll donate whatever I make in this tournament. I will donate it to Ukraine, Ukraine and like what's going on there. So, I mean, it just goes to show that just because your country's in a war doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's in agreement with it. Mm-hmm. So I just don't see why you can ban, a specific group of players when they might not even agree with, their country's actions. Yeah, compete under a non-Russian flag. I think that's really it. I think if you have a hard stance on something and you're tweeting about it and stuff, maybe you take precautions or you don't allow that specific player to compete if they're very pro, Russian war. But it doesn't seem like any of these players are. All of them are okay with, dropping the flag from their Instagram bios or Twitter bios. So I don't agree with Wimbledon in this, and hopefully they overturn their decision so these guys can play. And then other current event, Genie Bouchard was on the Part of My Take podcast. So she was interviewed for probably like 30, 40 minutes on it. And it was super good. She interviews really, really well. Very well spoken. Both Big Cat and PFT, who are the hosts of that podcast, interviewed her very well. They know absolutely nothing about tennis, which is great. But you can definitely tell that they did their research before having her on and stuff like that. They asked some great questions. They brought up what tennis players would talk about. They talked about, the GOAT debate. They talked about the smell of tennis balls and stuff like that. But one thing I want to talk about is in the podcast, Genie brought up the idea of having kind of like a waste management open type of tennis, tournament where it's kind of almost like a party, like just a party. People are being rowdy, drinks involved, maybe screaming during when players are, hitting serves and stuff like that. What are your guys' thoughts on that? What do you guys think?
I definitely don't. I don't hate the idea at all. I think to have something like that, and I like what you said at the end there, particularly just one or two, right, sprinkled throughout the season, just to, because then players have that option of saying, you know what, if I'm the type of person that I think I don't want to be around that type of environment, if I'm kind of a classic tennis, more of a quiet sport, I got to be focused and locked in, then don't compete, right? But it would be a great chance for, I would imagine, a lot of the younger generation guys would love that type of environment. The fans, it's a great chance to grow the game and show that it can be something that's fun and relaxed instead of a kind of an exclusive, typically more wealthy type of sport that tends to turn a lot of people away. So I don't see any of the negatives there. I think that'd be a huge plus.
Yeah. And David just popped in, so I'm going to add him real quick.
Okay.
Eric, what do you think about that? What about the, kind of that style of a tennis tournament?
Yeah, I think it would be awesome. It would bring so much of a different perspective on tennis, and it would almost turn into a whole nother game by involving the crowd on such a excited and loud level. I think I see almost zero drawbacks to including something like that in the season, because as long as all the players know going in that it's going to be that type of event, then they don't have anything to complain about, and they know that anything is fair game. So I would absolutely love to watch something like that.
Right. Give me Nick Kyrgios at a Waste Management Open-esque tennis tournament all day. I would watch that 10 out of 10 times.
100%. I would love that.
Yeah.
I'd completely agree. My apologies for my tardiness. I'm actually at the highly anticipated Gustavus Golden Gusties versus Carleton Knights. Gusties swept doubles. But I would assume you're talking about the comments that Genie Bouchard made on PMT about having a rowdy tournament like the Waste Management in Scottsdale. I think bring it on. I mean, it's a no-brainer if you're the ATP and WTA. Look at golf. I would argue that golf is even considered more of a country club sport than tennis. And if golf is doing it, why shouldn't tennis? I mean, think about it. I mean, my mind just goes to where you could have it. Scottsdale, if the golf tournament's there, it'd be fun to do like a duo. But I think, get it in San Diego too, somewhere like that. Get the fluids flowing in the fans. It's like the game of tennis is. It's. I would even argue too. It's more exciting. There is more to cheer about than there is in golf. More oftentimes you cheer, as tennis players, we are obviously brought up with the expectation that you shut your mouth during the points if you're a fan, and that's fine. But I would guarantee every single player on the tour, minus a few, would agree to this if it comes from the intention of growing the game and making it exciting to the common man and the common woman more.
100%. Let's transition into our bets for the week. Eric, did you get a chance to look at, the money line and everything like that? Do you have your bet?
I do. I think it's going to be a fun match to watch. Djokovic has been a little shaky so far in his return to the clay courts. Particularly, it looks like his serve is kind of weak right now. He's having a little trouble holding his serve. And so I'm gonna pick Rublev to kind of take advantage, maybe get a couple early breaks and then hang on from there. And I'm gonna take the money line with that, and I'm gonna go $10.
What do you got? What do you got, Sawi?
Yeah. So in order to get back, above zero here, I needed to probably make a bet more in Rublev's favor, just because Djokovic, obviously the favorite in this match. But I do agree with Eric that some of the stuff, even though Djokovic, best player of all time. Nadal, number 3. Nadal is number 3 player of all time behind Djokovic #1 and Federer #2. Okay, but I will say that Djokovic has been looking a little weak right now. A little more, there's more opportunity there for Rublev to attack some of those, just natural deficiencies that come from having been a little rusty, having not played in a while. So the serve being one of those, I like this match to go over the total games. I'm going to put $30 on that.
All right, perfect. So we have over at -124, $30 on that. It's a nice hefty bet there. If you win it, you'll definitely be back in the positives. What do you got? David?
Well, first, I'd like to say, I'm going to make my bet not because of the money. I'm going to make my bet because it's the right thing to do, and I speak the truth as a journalist. None of this money slander talk here. But by saying that, Djokovic he's the GOAT. You both know that I'm a Big Cat stan. Big Cat stands with Djokovic, so do I. Not necessarily all of his life decisions, but on the tennis court, absolutely. The guy is the GOAT. You talk about players like Sampras was incredible at the nets. You talk about Rafa, grinder from the baseline. We don't talk about that with Djokovic. You know why? Because he kicks ass everywhere. He has no weaknesses in his game. I don't even think he's going to make it close to Rublev. I think he's going to win 2-2, 2-3. So I'll take the under on the money line for games 1 and with Djokovic.
So you're going under 21.5?
Yes. Yep. Under 21.5. Sorry.
All right. Under 21.5 at -103. How much are you putting on that one?
I'm putting $20.
$20. Perfect. What were you saying, Zowie?
Somebody needs to hop on Twitter and tweet at Tennis with Ike to stop telling everyone that Nadal is the GOAT. He's not, and we're sick of reading it every day on my Twitter feed. So we got to stop the slander of Djokovic here.
All I'm seeing this tournament is Djokovic going to 3 sets in every single match.
Right.
So I think that this match is going to go to 3 sets, but I kind of want to change it up a little bit. In the rules of betting is all bets welcome. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to go total number of tie breaks in the match over 0.5. So I think there's going to be at least one tie break in this match, and it's at +185. So I'm more or less getting double my money if I bet this. So all types of bets welcome. I'm going to do the over on total number of tie breaks at 185. And I'm going to put $20 on it. I am in the hole right now, and I need to get out of the hole. This will not get me out of the hole, but it will get me pretty close. Couple fresh bets in weeks 8 and 9, I think will do me good. But we'll see what happens in this match. I'm super, super excited to watch this one. I'm waking up early to watch it, and I'm going to be hoping for these tie breaks. I will be on the edge of my seat cheering for whoever needs to come back and make it more of an even match. Perfect. Well, that summarizes our bets and our tennis talk for the week. I'm super excited. Tune in 7 a.m. Sunday.